5, 4, 3, 2, 1. CTS podcast, pop culture. What's up, Jace?
CTS Pop Culture Podcast.
CTS podcast, pop culture.
Yeah, that's weird. Don't say it like that. Just kidding. I won't be picky. We're back. In this podcast, we talk about pop culture. We talk about movies.
Really?
We talk about Star Wars.
We talk about pop
Marvel.
culture.
We talk about all sorts of stuff. And this week, we went and saw Avatar.
The Way of Water.
Weird that so many people want this movie to fail.
I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it, right?
I mean, you saw it with a little bit with the Star Wars, the sequels.
But even then, like,
you saw it with Captain Marvel, or not Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel. So there's a few movies, but I don't think I've seen one that rises quite to the level of just unreleased, unbridled hatred
and
towards
just
a
for
film.
like absolutely no reason. Like the Captain Marvel, as dumb as the reasons were, people were like, "Oh, they had a reason to want it to fail, that they didn't like it." This movie, it was just like, because it's so big and the first one was so big, we want it to fail.
Well, they were wrong. It seems to be doing pretty well. I think it's gotten $425 million. It's opening weekend.
I think it ended up. I think the revised numbers came out, and it, ended up like 500 worldwide,
which is pretty good.
Not bad. It wasn't.
And how big is the budget? Because I heard that the budget between the 4 films was $1.6 billion. I've heard the budget for only the second film was $1.6 billion.
There's no way the budget for the first film was $1.6 billion.
So you think it was the entire series? So you think for sure this movie is going to be profitable?
Yeah. Oh yeah, guaranteed, 100%.
Oscar shouts?
No, not. I mean,
maybe visual effects.
Yeah, visual effects. So maybe like sound design or stuff like that. But no, like.
No best direction for James Cameron, anything like that.
No, I don't think so, for sure. Maybe if like they're all like home runs out of the parks, he gets a shout on like the 5th one, like a little like what they like Lord of the Rings, like how Lord of the Rings like after 3 like won best film. So yeah, we'll see. But I really liked it. I thought it was really good.
I thought it was good. I think we both agree it was too long. I think. And that's rare for you to say, because usually I'm the one that says that movie was too long.
Yeah.
But it really was. You sit through 2.5 hours of film and you're like, okay.
And not that I didn't, like, I liked everything in the movie. There was nothing in the movie I disliked. It was just like all of it back to back to back to back was like, it dragged out a little bit. And that's not to say, like, I didn't watching the final act. It was almost like the 10 minutes before kind of the final, like the climax and the final act I was like, oh man, like this movie's long and there's still 40 minutes left or whatever. Like it's been a while. And then watching the final act, I was never like, oh man, like this feels like it's dragging out. But yeah, no, I liked it. I thought it was really good.
I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
I thought it was better than the first one. I liked it better than the first one.
I think I did too. The only thing I didn't love was that they're keeping Sergeant what's his face around.
Yeah, the bad guy from the first one.
Yeah, he's got to go. I mean, they've killed him twice now.
That is tough. It is a weird. And I think he'll be done after the next one. But it is that part is kind of weird. It's like, just let him die.
It's like you kill Thanos. Nope.
Yeah, no.
Kill Thanos again? No.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's kind of what they did.
A little bit,
Avengers,
but it is kind of a tricky one. I also think as opposed to the first one, because a lot of people's criticism of the first one is, oh, it's like visually stunning, but I don't really care about the characters.
Well, what I think would be cool is, and I know, don't come after me for a writing job. I've already got a job. Listen, I'm going to turn you down. $500K a year, I'll think about it. Hit me up. My email is, I'm just kidding. Okay. What I think would be cool is the humans and the Na'vi come to some sort of agreement regarding, the land in order to fight this, like, crazy Na'vi tribe that are just uber powerful, and they have way more advanced tech, and they're just stampeding and rolling all the humans and the Na'vi, and they have to like team up.
It'd be cool if they, yeah, because I mean they've done like both of these movies, and granted that is kind of the like thesis of what Avatar, like it's about like ecology and kind of colonization and stuff like that. So I don't know how you, but it would be interesting to see like, oh, if there was like a Na'vi tribe that was like colonizing the rest of the planet, that they had to. It'd be interesting to see where it kind of flips almost the theme on its head a little bit. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Apparently the third one's like ridiculously good. Like Zoe Saldana was like, if you like the second one, like I cannot wait for you to watch the third one because it's so much better.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well,
so,
we'll see.
it was a super pretty movie.
Oh yeah.
And
it
like
was really good looking.
I get it, like you got it a little bit in the first one, or I did at least, where the characters aren't entirely believable, where you're like, oh, they do look like a little CGI. This one I was like, total, like that's a real thing that exists in real life. Never once did I go, oh man, like it looks like CGI right now. It was totally believable in the world.
So tell me, even when it's CGI like that, they have real actors that are like moving around, and they can't do CGI without someone in a suit, can they?
Oh no, they certainly can. Yeah, no, they definitely can. It just doesn't look as good.
Oh, really?
And really what it is they do motion capture. Like, so it's less about like having something there to build on for the CGI, because they can put, I mean, because they don't use motion capture for like someone's not there in a suit for like a dragon. Like the dragons that they have like aren't somebody there in a suit.
Wait, it's not?
Just
the
like,
dragons aren't real?
They brought in a dragon to film. But so it's more about informing the motion. So they basically, what they do is they capture like, right, like you see those suits with all the like balls on them and the dots and stuff, and they capture the actors moving, and then in the CG, like when they're like doing post-production and stuff, they create a model of the character, and it's basically like almost like in a video game, like a character model in a video game, and then they map that onto the motion from the actor that did it, and use that to inform how the model moves.
Let me ask you this. With how much money video games make, how much money they spend on production, how much all of that, why do video games look so much less pristine than, say, like Avatar looks? Like, you take any blockbuster game. Let's take... See, I say that, but like... No, I'm going to stick to it. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, take Last of Us Part 2, for example. Just a total blockbuster game of the year award winner, or Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And it's just not the same. Is it because...
You're rendering in real time. So when I'm doing a film, I know this person's going to start here. They're going to move to here. They're going to do this. And that's going to be the end of the shot. And so I render that perfectly through before.
Yeah.
Whereas in a video game...
You don't know.
I have no idea what the character... Like, so that's why, I mean, cutscenes in video games...
They look better.
They look... Yeah. I mean, they look like right? They look fantastic. They look as good as movies. But then when you get into the actual game, it's like... And they're getting closer. I mean... Because that's even like the volume, the volume that they used on The Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
That uses, like, I can't remember if it's Unreal Engine, but it uses a video game engine to do that, to in real time render the backgrounds that they're filming against. Yeah. So, I mean, it's getting better. It's getting closer, and then they can film that in real time. But yeah, so that's why video games don't look as good, because you can't kind of pre-do it, and I can't set they'll, like, when they're rendering shots, like, they'll set their computer down for over the weekend, and it'll take 48 hours to render a shot.
Yeah, interesting. I'm really excited for this new movie coming out that's getting Oscar attention. It's called
Mhm.
The Whale.
With
Have you heard
Brendan
of it?
Fraser.
Yeah, I really, really, really like him. I know I'm like on the bandwagon of Brendan Fraser fans, but it'll be really cool to see him, and obviously the movie looks super duper good.
I've heard mixed reviews of it.
Really?
Yeah, so coming out of the film festivals, like when they kind of first did it, and I think at Cannes in France, it was like it got like 8-minute standing ovation or whatever, like they do, and then I saw an article that it was like the title was like, I don't understand why it got a standing ovation.
Really?
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. 'Cause
Well, a lot
it
of the
seems like there's
criticisms,
a lot of those.
too have been that it's like quote unquote fat phobic, which I just think is stupid. I'll
Yeah.
say it in front of the camera too. I think that's stupid.
It
That's
is
part
it is
of
a weird one.
movie
That's-
making.
Well, and that's the point, right? That's the point of the movie.
Well, look at the movie. You know the movie Wonder with the little boy
Yeah.
that has. I mean, what is that? Is that like you're gonna say that's
to
making?
represent.
Yeah, it's representing this larger idea. It's not like they're making fun of or poking fun of, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's just stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's kind of a dumb criticism. But the ones I have seen a lot of criticism of people just going, it's not that
It's
good
just
a movie.
not that good.
Yeah.
Interesting. Any other Oscar movie shouts coming out soon?
I just saw The Fabelmans.
Oh, that's right.
Really good movie.
Like
It's
best of the year.
Like one of my favorites of the year for sure. Certainly.
So, what's your favorite movie of all time? I don't know if we've ever talked about
Of
this.
all time.
Of all time.
That's so hard.
Like the best movie, a movie
That's-
that you're
it's so-
like, this is the best
It's
movie.
so
I've ever
hard.
seen.
That's really difficult. Because it kind of changes. Like I don't have like my one set. Like
Really?
like
You don't
the
have
God-
one?
No, because I mean, I can give you a couple that I like really love, and actually like a lot of them are like more recent. But Jojo Rabbit, I really love that movie. Like I love that movie. 1917 is another
It's a
movie
good one.
that I really like. I also
Jojo Rabbit's better than 1917, but yeah.
I mean, and that's why it changes like all the time. Like it depends on what I'm in the mood for. And so like those are really good. And then obviously there's like classic movies that are kind of like you could say, oh, they're the best of all time. But I don't know if I have a very specific like favorite of all time.
Mine's Labyrinth with David Bowie. You ever seen
Yeah,
that
that's
movie?
a crazy take.
You
That's
ever
a
seen that movie?
That's a crazy take for best movie of
Dude,
all time.
it's so good. I love that movie so much.
No, it's a good movie, but best movie of all time shouts. I think that's the first time I've heard it.
I mean,
there.
really, best, like, my objective pick
So-
for best movie of all time, I'm probably going
There's probably
with,
Minions
like,
too.
Minions 2 is up there, right?
Like top 3 at least.
Um,
And it's not 3 or 2.
probably like a Quentin Tarantino film,
Or
one
like
of
a
the older ones.
Scorsese movie or something like that.
Yeah,
or-
like Django or Pulp Fiction are both really good as just objectively good movies. What? I can't say I've watched those. I've watched those
No,
movies. I'm
no,
sorry.
It's just a little cliche to whip out the Pulp Fiction for guys like us.
Okay, you want me to okay, let me pick some crazy like indie campy South Korean made movie that no one has ever seen, and then maybe we can make that my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, we can do that. But yeah, no, it's so hard. Like I have movies that I think are technically like really good, like the best movie, and then other movies that are like objectively this isn't a great movie, but I love it. So it's a hard question, but
So back to my question: what other Oscar nominee?
so Fabelmans,
movies.
Everything Everywhere All at Once. That one's gonna get
Is
a
that
lot
one
of
gonna
shouts.
win?
It could, it really could.
Because in the Oscars they have like best movie per category, and then they have best movie of the year, right? Like just period.
So there's best film, but then there's best director, there's best.
So there is a
actor.
best film, period.
Yeah, best picture, not best film, best
Mm.
picture. But yeah, so there's different categories, but the one you want to win is Best Picture is the biggest one. So that's a couple. I mean, I think The Whale will probably get. I'm trying to think. We're already kind of past it. We're a little late. It's been not an awesome year for. This is going to be a year. I mean, like, you think about a year like 2019, where every movie that was a Best Picture nominee had pretty mainstream success. This isn't going to be a year.
Let me
like
ask you
that.
this. Is it possible for a Marvel or Star Wars movie, regardless of how good they are, let's say it's objectively the best movie ever made, it will never win Best Picture?
No, I don't think I'd say that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, but you go back to the Lord of the Rings. I mean, the Lord of the Rings is, I mean, it's more similar to like a Star Wars than a Marvel movie, but I wouldn't say it's impossible.
So you
for
don't
sure.
think the Academy Awards has just written off those Marvel and Star Wars, period?
No, I don't think so. I think they could do it. I mean, right, like Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. It didn't win, but you got nominated, so you're not too far off. So I think and especially if you got something that was just like some prestige actor, like Timothée Chalamet in like 10 years when he's.
What about Dune? Did Dune get Dune is last year, right?
Dune was last year, yeah.
Did it get nominated?
Yeah, he got nominated, but
For Best Picture?
I think he got not for Best Picture, but other stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it won't happen. I don't think there's anything upcoming that I think will. But I could see like
There's some secret stuff I have in the works for
Yeah.
Star Wars that I'm not allowed to discuss.
But I mean, even if you think about like Andor, I mean, Andor obviously like is a TV show, so
It'd be
it's
Emmy.
It's not up.
Emmys,
It's
right?
not up for Academy Awards, but
Emmys aren't Academy Awards?
No.
I feel like we talked about this.
the Oscars are the Academy Awards.
But Emmys are still a pretty big deal.
Yeah, Emmys. I mean, it's like the Academy Awards for TV. Like, it's kind of the highest honors you can get in TV. So, like, Andor, right, is in with a shout for. I mean, it'll certainly get nominated for best like dramatic.
Loki got nominated for an Emmy, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's not, but I don't think anyone ever really thought Loki could win. Andor, like, I think is in with a decent shout of pulling it off. And so I don't think it's that far off. Like, if you put out something that was a movie that was as critically acclaimed as Andor, I don't think it's totally unheard of that it could get. It'd be harder. There's definitely a bigger barrier to entry, but it's not something that can't happen.
That's interesting. You know what'd be cool?
What?
A what if Star Wars. What if for Star Wars?
Yeah.
You could do a bunch of cool stuff, right? You
Mhm.
could do what if Anakin never turned to the dark side.
You could do anything. It would be.
You could do anything.
Yep, that's the
What if
point.
Padme was a Jedi?
What? Yep. There's a million things. It would be cool. It would be fun. Yeah. I mean, because think how crazy that Marvel one was. Some of those episodes were insane.
Yeah.
So imagine doing that with Star Wars. Like, what if Yoda turned to the dark side?
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Bad Batch is coming out next 3 weeks.
Next month. Yeah. Yeah.
And I've heard really good things so far. I've heard that it gets better the more that you go along. I've heard it's dark, like the first kind of season was, which is cool.
What else? I'm trying to think. There's not a ton coming out between by the end of the year. Because what's our next Marvel project? Is what Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania?
Yeah.
I think is the next one.
Well, and I heard the new Disney CEO said. Did you hear that he said something like, "We're gonna focus on quality over quantity"?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see because it's still
Do you
so
agree with
early.
that? Do you think that's a good idea?
I do, but at the same time, I do like the idea that quantity lets you branch out. Like, if you do quantity, not every single one has to be like ultra successful. Because even, I mean, you look at Andor, and I mean, pretty much most people think it's like, that have watched it, think it's like the best Star Wars show. I mean, there are people saying it's the best thing Star Wars since like Empire. So I think like, but if you're just doing, if every single thing that you make has to be a huge success financially, like get a ton of eyes on it, I don't know if something like Andor survives, or something unique like Werewolf by Night or Miss Marvel probably gets cut out of the, like in like super early stages, gets cut out of the quality versus quantity debate, even though it was one of the better Marvel shows that's come out.
I'll make you CEO with talk like that. I might have to bring you up the ladder.
Install me.
Yeah. Oh, I just noticed your shirt says "Yikes."
It does say yikes.
That's cool. That's kind of
But
nice.
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how things change, because it's still so early with the new CEO at Disney that I don't think a lot of changes have been affected. But we'll see how it goes.
Last of Us show comes out next month.
Really?
I'm so excited. And
You'll have to
initial
be our
reviews are
Last of Us guy.
really good. Like initial reviews say it's like
Really good. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, but
Oh.
Game of the Year, Elden Ring won Game of the Year.
Yeah, we can, and we're probably close to wrapping up, but we can talk about all the stuff with DC. We haven't talked about, like, all the crazy stuff that's happening there.
Oh yeah.
James Gunn in as like president of DC with Peter Safran. And they basically just cut everything.
So who's Peter Safran?
He's just a producer. Like, he's another producer guy.
Famous?
Pretty
What's
well
he
known.
done?
Pretty well known. I think he's been at Warner Brothers as a producer
Oh.
for a while, so he's worked on a ton of stuff. But yeah, they basically came in and just said, okay, everything that was here before, canceled. No more Wonder Woman, no more Henry Cavill Superman, like Batman we're changing.
And James Gunn is still doing Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and then he's done with Marvel.
Oh, no
Yeah.
more Marvel at all.
No more Marvel at all.
Hmm.
So, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was his last thing, and I guess the holiday special too. So, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, he said about Guardians of the Galaxy, like, this is the last time we'll see that group together.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so James Gunn came in, got rid of everyone and everything, Henry Cavill included, which was a big deal. Ooh, we haven't talked about how The Rock leaked a bunch of like fake financial statements.
He just lied.
Yeah, he lied. Really weird. And then Warner Brothers said he lied, and then he unfollowed Warner Brothers and the Black Adam on Instagram.
And then he just put out something like yesterday where he was like, oh, I talked with James Gunn, and we're not moving forward with Black Adam right now, but we probably will in the future. Which means no, they're not. Like, Black Adam's done, but it's one of The Rock's first like big misses.
Was it a miss?
Oh yeah, it lost a ton of money.
Oh, okay.
It lost a ton of money and was awful. Was an awful movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
It was
certainly a miss.
It was awful.
Because at least, like,
It was
with The
awful.
Rock, usually he puts out awful movies that make a bunch of money, and occasionally he puts out a pretty fun movie
That also makes a
ton of money. Black Adam lost money, and was really, really, really bad.
Yeah, so I'm hoping we still get Peacemaker, as you know, one of my favorite series. James Gunn directed that one, and I think it'll come back. I think James Gunn kind of hinted at it in something I was reading. But that means he said that we're going to be looking at like a younger Superman, lots of origin stuff.
Which, I don't know how I feel about that. Like the origin stuff.
It's really hard to do, only because we already have an idea of who these characters are and what we want them to be. It would be like, I don't know. I mean, you look at the prequels now. That's all origin stuff.
Yeah, but at the same time, its origin for like different characters, and that story hadn't been told before.
Yeah.
My problem is like I know where Superman comes from. Like it's like the problem with Spider-Man, where they do like the Spider-Man origin every time. Like if it's the same, it's like okay, like we get it. Like I get the setup. I want to see where it goes. So I don't know, like the Batman. Like I don't want to see you kill like Thomas and Martha
for the 80th time.
I've seen it a million times already. I know what happens. They walk out of the theater, walk into the alley. Guy tries to rob them.
So here's my thing. Why don't they just do a bunch of, and I've said this before, just do a bunch of limited series on HBO. Just do a bunch of series. Do like a Batman series. You can do a Joker series. I'm the Joker, baby. You can do a Superman series. You can do, I mean, even a Wonder Woman series. I mean, there's so much cool stuff that you could do. I just don't know why they've pushed so hard on this idea of doing films.
Because films make more money.
Yeah, but look at the success. They have to be looking at the success of Disney Plus. They have to be looking at
films make so much more money, and that's
not more than Disney Plus. Films don't make more than Disney Plus. Disney Plus is destroying, right?
I mean, it's making a lot of money, but I mean, Disney Plus is losing money. Disney Plus isn't making money
right now, but it has so many subscribers that it's going to turn a profit, and when it does, it's going to start chugging.
But like films are profitable in the moment, like unless they totally flop. Like a film, I can invest my $200 million into budget, $200 million into marketing, and then after 6 weeks, the studio's made back $600 million. Whereas like a TV show, it's a lot harder to go, okay, invest like $150 million into this TV show. And like, cause what does it justify? Like if I get a 2% uptick in subscribers and they stay subscribed for 12 months, then we make our money back. But it's a lot harder to do metrics wise to justify the big spending on TV shows.
I don't know. It's like an investment though, because if you get people invested in the TV shows, you can come out with big projects in the theaters that make a killing.
Yeah, but it's just hard, right? Like I mean, it's hard to tell your shareholders like, okay, you just got to trust us. We're going to lose.
Let me tell them. Put me up there and let me tell them.
We're going to lose like $1 billion a year on this for the next 5 years. You have to trust us. Eventually, we're going to have this like, it's hard to tell shareholders that. Trust me.
You know? Yeah, so that's where I would take it, but that's just me. I think HBO is probably my favorite streaming platform. Just from a pure what's the right
just quality
type standpoint. There's just a lot of good stuff on there, and then Disney Plus and Amazon are obviously good. I think Amazon is. Do you ever load up like the Amazon Prime and just think to yourself, this stuff looks so dated? Like this is who put this together? Like a 5-year-old?
Well, it's weird to me because like it's almost like besides like Netflix, like HBO Max is pretty good, Disney Plus, and like Hulu, every other streaming service is awful. Like the user interface, everything, and like is just awful, and it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand because
especially for Amazon, right? With how much money they're investing into stuff.
Just copy Netflix.
You load up the
copy
the UI.
Netflix.
You load up the UI, and it's like, what am I looking at?
I can't like. It's like, yeah, there's all these movies that are just like it's like weird categories that I never want to see, and like even something like Disney Plus. Sometimes I'm like there's like the new to Disney Plus tab. And like the thing I want that I know came out this week is like behind stuff that came out before.
Yeah.
And like even that stuff's weird. It's like just like I don't get it.
You would think they can tailor it better because Netflix has got it down. Netflix, when you load up Netflix, it feels like their user interface, it's always stuff that I would want to watch, or it's always stuff that's really, really trending.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of weird. But
no, but Amazon Prime's interface.
Or how much did Amazon pay for Thursday Night Football for like 8 games?
A lot.
It was a lot.
It was like $1 billion.
I think it was more. I think
really?
It was more than $1 billion.
You'll have to check that out.
Let's look it up
wrap
real quick.
up on this one.
did Amazon pay for a Thursday night? You're right. Around $1 billion
Yeah.
annually to broadcast 15 games a season.
Yeah, so they're paying like $80 million a game. Pretty crazy, but
Chump change for someone like
Chump
me, but for them, all I'm saying is for them, it's a lot. All right, should we do some freaking trivia?
oh, let's do a trivia card. Let's do a trivia card each. We need to play. We have a Star Wars game that we need to play.
Let's do that while you're on break. I've already
Yeah.
gotten this one.
No, you haven't.
I have already.
You absolutely have not.
Okay,
'Cause
whatever.
I put the
You-
cards we do right here.
Okay, we've literally done this one, but okay.
Okay.
Which movie did I get?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah.
I can handle that.
'Kay.
Okay.
What color is the Infinity Stone at the heart of the orb?
Green.
It's purple.
Did you know that?
yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
And what
'cause
type
remember
of-
at the end when they're doing the dance thing and like Peter's like getting consumed and the whole thing's purple the whole time?
And what type of establishment is the Captain America exhibition?
A museum?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is a weird question. By what other name is Tannelir Tavon known?
The Collector.
Yeah.
What is the name of Steve Rogers' neighbor who is an undercover SHIELD agent?
Sharon Carter.
You lucked out. They gave you 3 different correct answers for that. Kate, Agent 13, or Sharon Carter.
Well, yeah, 'cause it's the same person.
I know it is, but the fact that they gave... Whatever. Okay, go.
Okay. What color is the collector's hair? It's, ooh. This should be an easy one, I feel like. Just think back. Think back when they're walking through.
What color is the Collector's hair?
Yeah. It's easy.
I want to say it's white.
Yeah, it's white.
Okay. I thought it... Well, the question was, like, so obvious that I thought it was throwing me off.
Yep.
According to the Captain America Museum exhibition, who was the only member of the Howling Commandos to sacrifice himself for his country?
Bucky Barnes. Okay. What is the name of the planet that the Nova Corps reside on and protect? This one you should know. I'm not going to give you a pass on this one.
The Nova Corps?
Yeah. It's the yellow guys. They fly those yellow ships.
I have no idea. I don't know.
Xandar.
I wouldn't have known that.
Oof.
It's so long. It's just been so long since
Yeah.
I've seen these
Yeah.
movies. In which state is the old army camp where Steve Rogers trained?
New Jersey.
That's disgusting. You know that. That's embarrassing.
What is the name of the mining colony on which the Guardians meet the Collector?
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. It's the big skull.
I know I can picture what it looks like, but I'm not gonna
You
remember
don't know
some
where it
random
is?
name. No way. I don't even want
That
to
was
take
a joke.
guess.
Did you guys catch that? I
What'd
just
you
made
say?
a little joke.
What did you say?
It's called Nowhere.
Okay. Your questions are always really a lot easier.
Sounds like an excuse.
Who saves Captain America from drowning in the River Potomac?
Is this the second one?
This is Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Gosh. It's not Bucky, right? It is Bucky.
It says Winter Soldier.
That's Bucky.
But it only says Winter Soldier.
That's Bucky.
And above, it said Kate, Agent 13, Sharon
That
Carter.
is Bucky.
It only
Who's
says
the Winter Soldier? No, tell me who the Winter Soldier is.
Listen.
Tell
I
me who
don't,
the
I don't
win-
like
tell me-
docking points for semantics, but
Tell me who the Winter Soldier is.
All
It's
right.
Bucky.
this has been the CTS Pop Culture Podcast.